Carl was 48 years old, 22 years building roads through a country that did not want roads. He had been warned 3 days earlier, and he ignored the warning. The fourth morning, Carl walked out to the bulldozer at 5:15 in the morning, same as every morning. The sky was the color of wet ash. The crew was still asleep in their trailers, and there was no wind, no insect, and no animals. The desert was completely silent. He climbed up into the cab. He stopped. What was on the seat should not have fit through the door. The cab door had been locked. Carl had the only key. Whatever was on the seat hadn't been there at midnight. Carl had checked at midnight. Carl hadn't slept. He didn't reach for it. He didn't touch anything. He climbed back down, walked to the trailer, woke up the foreman in the next bunk, told him to call the elder back, the same elder Carl had laughed at on Tuesday. The elder didn't come back. The elder never came back. What you're about to hear is a dramatization. The names have been changed, the locations have been changed, and some of the details have been changed. The Navajo protocols described in this video are documented in cultural literature and confirmed by Navajo educators out of respect for this entity, whatever it might be that we're speaking about on this channel. Andrew here for Permanent Underclass, where we explore the weird stuff your therapist would tell you to avoid. The, oh cool, now I'll never sleep again side of reality. If you're easily scared, easily offended, or easily anything, you're in the wrong place. Last video had 3 wendigo encounters, 3 witnesses, 3 different professions, 3 completely different lives. None of them coordinated, none of them had to. Each ended the same way with no explanation. This video is different. This video isn't about the encounter, it's about what came before it, the warning that comes before these encounters, the things that the Navajo said to each of these 3 people days or weeks before the worst night of their lives. If you saw the last video, you already know what happens when these warnings get ignored. These people who don't listen don't usually get a second chance. 3 witnesses, 3 people, 3 warnings. 3 people who decided they knew better than to listen to these warnings. Carl was a road foreman in Many Farms, Arizona in 2011. He had a project on land he was supposed to leave alone. The elder showed up at his trailer and Carl laughed at him. Sarah was a folklore PhD candidate in Gallup, New Mexico in 2017. She was given exactly 1 rule about her interview tape. She broke it accidentally. The tape did not forgive her. Tom was an over-the-road trucker on Route 491, the stretch the Navajo called the Devil's Highway. In 2019, his co-driver, a Navajo man named Marcus, gave him exactly 1 rule about the highway after dark. Tom thought it was superstition. There are 3 warnings in this video, 3 violations, and 3 people who come back wrong, or they don't come back at all. Every single warning had the same 5 elements. Same structure, same decade, different states. Witnesses who never met each other. Same 5 elements every time. A warning structure that doesn't drift across 30 years and unrelated witnesses. It isn't folklore. Folklore drifts. This doesn't drift. That's the tell. The road widening project was 3 miles south of Many Farms in Arizona. 2 miles of new asphalt across Route 59 federal money. Spring 2011, Carl had bid on the contract for his office in Flagstaff, Arizona, and won it on the price. The crew arrived on Sunday. They set up the trailers, they parked the equipment, and rolled out the survey stakes Monday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, they had cleared the first 100 yards. Everyone was on schedule, everyone was being paid. An elder showed up Tuesday at 4 in the afternoon. He was older than Carl, probably in his 70s. He drove in alone in a maroon pickup parked at the trailer and waited until Carl came out. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't ask if Carl was the foreman he already knew. He told Carl 4 things in this order. First, that the next half mile of the planned road between the two arroyos was not open ground. He used the Navajo word for it. Carl didn't ask what it meant. Second, the crew was not to break the ground on that stretch after sundown, daylight only, no exceptions. Third, that no person should sleep on that stretch in any vehicle on any night, regardless of what they thought they heard outside of the trailer. Fourth, that it was not a request. He said it plainly, that no anger, no urgency at all. He said, "I'm telling you so you don't find out the other way." He never named what was there. He didn't have to. Carl thanked him for his time. Carl said the project was federally funded. Carl said the BIA had cleared every parcel. Carl said the schedule could not move. The elder didn't argue. He nodded once. He got back in the truck. He drove out the way he came in. Carl told the crew to keep working through sundown. He told the night watchman, a quiet kid named Diego, to sleep in the trailer closest to the working zone. Diego didn't ask questions either. It was Tuesday. Tuesday night was quiet. The crew worked through sundown. Diego slept in the trailer closest to the work zone, and nothing had happened. Wednesday started out with failures. The bulldozer wouldn't start. Carl had run it Tuesday afternoon. The mechanic from Gallup drove out, ran diagnosis, found no fault in it. The fuel was fine, the starter was fine. He started it on the third try. He couldn't explain why it wouldn't start on the first two. The generator failed at noon. Replaced. The replacement failed. At 3. Replaced again. The third one ran fine until sundown. At sundown, it stopped. The diagnosis shows nothing. Wednesday night, Diego came to Carl's trailer at 1 in the morning. Diego was shaking. He said something was walking the perimeter. Carl asked what he saw. Diego said he hadn't seen anything. He said the gravel was wrong. Carl asked what that meant, and Diego couldn't say. They walked the perimeter together with flashlights. Carl saw the tracks. They were not animal tracks. They were not human tracks. They started at the edge of the cleared zone and stopped. Not faded, not got covered, stopped. Mid-stride. The next track was 40 feet away, then nothing, then a single track on top of the trailer roof. Carl told Diego to sleep in the truck with the doors locked. Thursday morning, second bulldozer wouldn't start. The mechanic refused to come back. His exact words were, "I'm not driving out there again." He didn't explain. Thursday afternoon, Diego stopped speaking entirely. He worked, he ate, he didn't talk. When Carl asked if he was okay, Diego just looked at him. Diego's eyes had the right color, but they weren't Diego's eyes. Thursday night, Carl made everyone sleep in the trailer. He locked his trailer from the inside. He kept lights on. He did not sleep. At 3:15 in the morning, something walked past Carl's trailer window. Carl saw the silhouette. The silhouette was the wrong shape. The shoulders sat too high. The arms hung past where arms should hang. It walked on two legs. It did not walk like anything walks on two legs. It paused at his window. It didn't look in. It moved on. Carl waited until 5:15. He went out to the bulldozer. You already know what he found in the seat. He did not call the elder personally. He had the foreman do it. The elder did not come. The crew packed up. By sundown Friday, the project was officially canceled. The following Tuesday, the official reason was soil instability. The road was never built. The land south of many farms is still unfinished, uncut where they stopped. You can see it on satellite. Sarah was 28 in 2017. She was finishing her PhD at the University of Arizona, her dissertation on the Navajo storytelling tradition. She had been doing field work in Gallup area for 2 years. She had built relationships and she had been careful. The interview was scheduled for Saturday morning at the home of an elder she had spoken with before. He was respected. He was selective about what he said on tape. Sarah knew this, and she knew the protocol. They sat in his kitchen, he made coffee, and they talked for 40 minutes about subjects they had already covered before. Songs, places, names, ceremonies that had public versions and private versions. The interview was unremarkable. He told her something he had not told her before. He told her there was one name. He used English. He said, "There is one name." He said, "You can't put it on the tape." He said, "Even saying it out loud is a mistake." He said, "Writing it down is worse." He said, "Putting it on tape is the worst." He never said the name. Sarah said she understood. She said she wouldn't record him saying anything. She said she would never write it down. She said she would never even speak it out loud. He thanked her. They finished the coffee. The interview ended at 11:20 in the morning. Sarah drove back to her room at the Quality Inn off of I-40 in Gallup. She had a backup recorder running in her bag. She always did. She had told the elder out about the primary recorder on the table, and she had not told him about the backup recorder in her bag. It was running the entire time, including before they sat down. She didn't think about the backup recorder until that night. She had just gone through the habit. She had backups for everything. She remembered around 8:30 in the evening, she got the backup recorder out of her bag. She sat on the bed in the room 217 and she rewound the recording. She thought she hadn't said it. She thought she was clear, and she wasn't. She rewound to the start of the visit. She heard herself saying hello at the door. She heard her ask the elder to come in. She heard them sitting at the kitchen table, and she heard the coffee cups at the kitchen table. She heard him saying it. The name was on the tape, clearly stated, calmly, not part of any sentence. Sarah remembered him saying just the name spoken once in his voice at the moment when she had been thanking him for the coffee. She rewound 20 seconds and played it again. The name was not there. She rewound it and played it a third time. The name was on the tape. Same place, same annotation, same voice. Fourth time, the name was not there. Fifth time, the voice on the tape was hers. Same name, said in her voice at the same moment. She had not said it. She had never said it. She had never even heard it spoken aloud before. If you're following in this far, hit like and subscribe. The sixth time she pressed play, the recording was silent. Sarah took her recorder into the bathroom of room 17. She filled the sink with water. She submerged the recorder. She watched it die. Then she put the recorded SD card, the spare battery, and her notebook into the trash chute at the end of the hallway. She drove to a gas station, bought a disposable lighter, and burned the receipt for the recorder in the parking lot. She did not know why she was doing any of this. She was just doing it. She was back in her room 217 by midnight. 2:40 in the morning, she hears her mother's voice. Her mother had died in 2014. Her voice was coming from the bathroom. The bathroom door was closed. The voice was saying her name. Her mother's voice. Exactly as she remembered it, saying Sarah's name slowly 3 times. Sarah did not open the bathroom door. She left her clothes, her bag, her car keys. She walked out of the bathroom barefoot. She drove home to Tucson in the rental car, still in her pajamas. She tried to call the elder next week. His daughter answered. His daughter said he was resting. Sarah called twice more that month. Same answer. The 4th time Sarah called, the daughter said, "Please stop calling." Sarah never published her dissertation. She left academia in 2018. Tom drove for a long-haul outfit in Albuquerque. 28 years over the road. The kind of driver who knew every truck stop between El Paso and Salt Lake City. He had been on Route 491 hundreds of times, through the Four Corners, up through Shiprock, north into Colorado. He had a co-driver in 2019, Marcus, Navajo. 42 years old, married, 3 kids, lived in Farmington. Marcus had been driving the route for a decade longer than Tom. The first time they teamed up, they ran the El Paso to Salt Lake leg together. Marcus drove the day's leg, Tom drove the night's leg. They did 3 runs together that month with no problems at all. The 4th run in early October, Marcus told Tom the rule. He told it once, he told it plainly. He said between Shiprock and Gallup, after dark, you don't stop. You don't pull over for anyone, you don't stop for police lights, you call it in, keep driving. Sort it out at the next exit. You don't stop for accidents, you don't stop for animals, you don't stop for people on the shoulder. Tom asks, why? Marcus says, it doesn't matter what you see. You will see something. Whatever you see, you just keep driving. Tom asked who told him this. Marcus said it was his uncle. Marcus said his uncle's father. Marcus said the rule had been the rule for as long as anyone in his family had driven that road. Tom says, okay. Marcus didn't make him promise. Marcus didn't follow up. Marcus didn't bring it up again for the rest of the run. 2 weeks later, Tom was running the route alone. Marcus had a family thing, and Tom took the night leg from El Paso. He hit Shiprock 1:40 in the morning. He turned south on the 491. 68 miles to Gallup. The road was empty. Around mile 32, just past Tanahatchee, Tom saw a figure on the shoulder. He thought about the rule. He stopped anyway. The figure was on the right shoulder, 40 yards ahead. It was wearing dark clothes. It was facing the road. It was not waving, it was just standing there. Tom downshifted the truck. He was doing 58. He came down to 40. The figure didn't move. He came down to 25. The figure didn't move. He pulled onto the shoulder 10 yards past it. He let the air brakes hiss and waited. In the side mirror, he saw the figure walking towards the cab. Slow, steady, normal walking pace. Tom rolled down the passenger window. The next thing he remembered was the figure was already in the cab. Tom doesn't remember opening the passenger door. He did not remember the figure climbing in, and he did not remember saying anything. The figure was in the seat, and the door was closed, and the truck was already rolling. Tom looked over. The face was wrong. He couldn't say how. The features were arranged the way features are supposed to be arranged. The proportions were correct. Something underneath was wrong. Tom said later it was like looking at a face that had been described to someone, and that person was now showing you what they thought a face should look like. The smell hit him next. Wet animal, hot copper, something underneath that was older than both of those things. Tom tried to ask its name. The sound that came out of its mouth was not a sound he had made. He didn't know what language it was. He didn't know if it was a language. The figure in the seat smiled. The smile didn't stop where smiles normally stop. Tom drove. He kept his eyes on the road. He didn't look in the mirror. He didn't look at the passenger seat. He drove the next 34 miles to a Love's truck stop in Gallup. He did not remember most of the miles. At the Love's, he pulled into the back lot. He shut off the engine. He sat for a long time, and he looked at the passenger seat. The seat was empty. There was nothing in the seat. There was something on the seat. Tom would not say what was on the seat. He told dispatch he had a medical emergency and the truck was out of service. He walked into the Love's. He used the payphone in the lobby, and he called dispatch. The dispatcher heard his voice and asked him to repeat what he just said. Tom couldn't. A different driver came out at sunrise to retrieve the truck. The other driver opened the cab. The other driver immediately closed the cab. The truck was decommissioned. The seat was replaced. Tom didn't drive 491 again. He doesn't drive at night at all. He's still driving today, the day legs out of Albuquerque. He won't talk about what was on that seat. 3 witnesses in 3 different decades, near enough in 3 states, 3 professions. None of them met each other. None of them coordinated their stories. None of them had a reason to make any of this up. Every single warning had the same 5 elements. The warning named the place specifically, not the desert, not the area, the exact stretch. The kitchen interview, the 68 miles between Shiprock and Gallup, specific geographic locations, verifiable. 2, the warning named the time specifically, not be careful sometimes, sundown, daylight only, no after dark. The window when the rule applies its name. 3, the warning named the action to avoid, not be respectful, not specific verbs, don't break the ground, don't put it on tape, don't stop. Each warning had a verb you could check yourself against. 4, the warning did not name the thing, none of them did. The elder in many farms used a Navajo word for the place, but not for what was there. The elder in Gallup said the name, but only to tell Sarah not to record it. Marcus told Tom to stop, but never told him what would be on the shoulder. 5, the warning came from someone the warned person didn't want to listen to. Carl was a federally contracted foreman being told to stop by an elder of the Navajo with no legal authority. Sarah was a credentialed academic being told what to record by an interview subject. Tom was a long-haul professional being told how to drive by a coworker with much less seniority in the company. Every single case, the structural authority of the warner was lower than the structural authority of the person being warned. Every single case, the warning was correct. A pattern that consisted across 30 years and unrelated witnesses isn't folklore. Folklore drifts, folklore's names drift, details drift, this doesn't. 5 elements, the same element every time. That's the tell. Here's what nobody outside the Navajo community talks about with the skinwalker stories and these wendigo stories. The Navajo aren't trying to convert you. They're not asking you to believe them. They're not selling a religion. They have no incentive to convince anyone. These warnings aren't proselytizing. They're traffic signs, slippery road, falling rocks, bridge, ice before the road. The signs aren't asking you to believe in the physics. They're telling you what is true. What you do with that information is your own business. And if you keep driving the speed limit when the road says 45, that's between you and the ditch. That's what the Navajo warnings are. Information offered, not sold, not being pushed on you. Carl ignored the warning because he was a federal contractor on a deadline. Sarah ignored the warning because she had a backup recorder that she had already turned on. Tom ignored the warning because he had 28 years over the road and didn't get told what to do by a driver with less experience than him. All 3 of them thought they were the exception, and if you are watching this video and you've ever been given one of these warnings yourself, you already know the rest. You know how the elders talk. You know that no part of it sounds like superstition when you're in the room with the person saying it. The people who get warned and listen don't usually end up on YouTube channels as stories. The people who get warned and don't listen sometimes don't end up anywhere at all. If this hit, drop a like and a comment and tell me about the warning that you've got, the one that didn't sound like superstition until later, the one that you almost didn't take seriously. We're on YouTube at Permanent Underclass and on X at The Underclasser and on Facebook.